Hey, my name is Kristin and I live full-time in this camper van. I've been living on the road now for over 4 years, so welcome to my tiny home and let me show you around. So first things first, let me show you the kitchen because this is where I probably spend most of my time washing dishes and cooking. It's like a never-ending cycle. So I have a propane-powered oven here with also a 3-burner stovetop. The oven also kind of duals as storage because we really don't use the oven all that much, so you got to use every single inch of space that you have. Each of these drawers has a different purpose, I guess. In this drawer, this is where all of our utensils are. It's very unorganized. This is what I kind of refer to as our beauty/medicine cabinet, even though it's a drawer. And then this is kind of like our coffee and tea drawer. And this is basically just our little pantry that is stuffed full. But we put all of our like canned goods and like baggy type of items in there. And then this drawer down here holds all of our cookware as well as our like plates and cups and things like that. It looks disorganized, but it works. Above the kitchen area, I have this open shelf concept, and I know a lot of people think that this is a bad idea, and like I do have things drop occasionally. Like sometimes I forget to pull these like floating items down when I start to drive, and those will fall, but for the most part no glass has ever broken. These jars are like pretty tight in here, so they stay really like put together and nothing really moves, so it works out really well. And I really like it because I can just grab whatever I need. This is kind of like my pantry items, and then I have kind of beauty items and books over here. It's a weird mix, but it works for me. So my sink here has this removable inlet. I really like having this because it really gives me more countertop space. And then my faucet I really like because I kind of have 2 modes. I have like your traditional like single stream, water's precious, so I'm not going to waste too much. And then I have this, which this is the stream I mostly use for washing dishes because I can really like trickle it and use as little as water as I need. Under the sink is where you have like my propane tank as well as just cleaning supplies. So it's kind of a mess under there, but it has its purpose. So this right here is my table. It pulls out, and I typically use this as my working space. If Carolee, my partner, and I are both eating in here, we don't typically use this table. Maybe one of us will sit here. And then I also have this additional swivel table that comes over and is really good for the swivel seat in the front for her to be able to sit there and eat, or I can scoot to the edge here and we can eat together. So here I have my Dometic fridge. I like it a lot because it doesn't pull that much energy. It's pretty packed. It's always packed, but it even has this little freezer section, which is nice. So that way I can have my ice cream. It's probably the most asked question. Where do you go to the bathroom when people find out that I live in a van, which is so weird, but I get it at the same time. I'm sitting on top of my toilet. It is actually inside this bench. There's 2 drawers here, but this back drawer is where my toilet lies. So this is my bed, obviously. It is a fixed bed, so underneath there is a garage area. I really like this layout. Like it definitely has its pros and cons. It makes the space a little bit smaller since I can't convert it into a dinette situation. But I really like it because I don't have to make my bed every day, and I'm a lazy girl. Above my bed here, I have what I refer to as my closet. So basically these 2 cabinets that hold all of my clothes, not all of my clothes, but they hold what clothes I'm most likely to use on a consistent basis. Additionally, up here I have my sunroof, which I absolutely love because it leads to my roof deck, and I love spending time up there, especially to watch sunsets because I love a good sunset. So one of my favorite things I love about my van is the size of it, and it's a weird thing because it's also what I hate the most about it. I have a 2019 Ford Transit, and it is 148-inch wheelbase, and it's great because I can fit into any parking space. I can parallel park like on the main city roads. It's great to be able to be so accessible. However, it's small. It's small inside, and often it just feels like things are very cluttered. It becomes a mess so easily, so a bigger space would be nice. So it's a weird pro and a con. When I had this van built, I built it in mind just for myself. It's basically designed for only one person. So that being said, when my partner moved in this year, it definitely made the space feel smaller. So I would say that a size like this is perfect for somebody who's traveling solo. But the second you add another person to that, you need much more space. One of the other things that I guess you could say is a downside to my van is I don't have AC. And honestly, when I started van like 4.5 years ago, there really wasn't this need for AC like there is today. So it's crazy to see how much has changed in these 4 years. I have gone from, maybe having a week or two where I was struggling on the road to like, I really have to escape to the mountains almost the entire summer to avoid the heat waves, and also budget in like possible hotel stays because of the heat waves. So if I were to do another van, I would definitely make sure I have AC. I very much regret not having AC. But that being said, I do have heat capability, and it actually comes out right here. This is where my heat comes out, and honestly, within about 5 minutes, this place is so hot. In order to power this van, I have 200 amp hours of lithium battery and 430 watts of solar up top. Honestly, that's enough for me to be able to stay off grid. I do have shore power capability, but I really only need that if I'm parked in the rain, like cloudy, or underneath trees for like days on end. It's nice to have that as an option, but I really rarely ever need it. So my power system does just enough. However, I will say, this year I invested in a Starlink, and if you have a Starlink or you're considering a Starlink, you may want to upgrade your electrical system a little bit. We ended up upgrading in the terms of an external power source. So we have a 1,000-watt Jackery as well as a 300-watt Jackery and a 200-watt solar panel. So as I mentioned before, underneath my bed is what I can refer to as my garage. This is to hide everything from prying eyes. But underneath here, I have my Starlink, chairs, moonshade. In the very back, I have 2 big totes that hold all of my clothes that are like for a different season. So for example, right now it's like fall heading into winter. So all of my summer clothes are already packed away into those totes. So having this storage is like a game changer. My very first van, I had the dinette conversion, so I did not have this much storage, and let me tell you, life was a struggle. I just didn't have anything. So now I also have a paddleboard. There's just so much that I can fit in here, and I don't think I could go back to not having a garage. Thanks so much for coming through. See you next time, friends.